Okay, so you need an SD card in your camera, right? An SD card. No, it's not a treat. It's a treat for you because you need it. In order to get good grades, which translates to treats, you need to have your SD card with you all the time and your charged camera. But what kind of SD card do you have? Does it make a difference? Yes, it does. Okay, both SanDisk and Lexar, those are the big brands, have image recovery software available on their website for free. So if this big accident happens to your memory disk, you might be able to get your images off. If not, then Lexar even has a mail-in program. So if you first download their software, try and get your images, and that doesn't work, you mail your disk into them, your little tiny card, yes, this little thing, you mail it into them, and they will try and recover it, and if they do, they send you a DVD with your images for free. Cool, huh? Okay, now, what do you need to know about this little thing? Yeah, you need to protect it. Keep it in the little case, keep it in your camera, but also there's this little button on it, little lever. So this one's yellow, so right here. This little thing, sometimes, yeah, I've done it before. Putting it into my camera slides it over like this, where it says lock. So now, notice it says lock this way. Now my thing is slid down. That means that I can't erase pictures that are on there, and I can't write to it, so it protects it. In the old days on cassette tapes, we used to put tape over that little square, but you guys know nothing about that anymore unless your parents still have one of those old school cassette players. So that's what you need to know about this little button thing. It's your lock. You should be monogamous. That means only one camera for your memory card. That will save you a lot of problems. When you're going to remove this little puppy from your computer, be sure and tell your computer that you're going to do so. If you have a Macintosh, an Apple computer, then it's eject. That's the correct terminology. I know it's a little bit freaky, but if it's on your desktop and you drag it down to the trash can, I know, weird, you're going to throw it away? Yeah, no. You're just telling the computer that you're done with it, and then you can eject it. If you have a PC, then they call it safely remove. So if you right click on the icon for your memory card and you tell remove, then you'll be able to, it'll tell you when it's ready for you to remove it. You can safely remove it. You know what you need to know about power is that you need a lot of it. So if your camera is off, then you can remove this card from it. Don't ever remove the card from your camera while the camera is still on. Number 1 rule. Number 2 rule. If your camera is still writing an image to it, that means you took a picture and it's still processing that image to the memory card, sending that information over, then don't turn your camera off. Okay, so now you know. Camera off, image fully written to the memory card before you turn the camera off. But what about your battery? If your batteries aren't fully charged and you run out of juice, what happens? Camera turns off. So you need to be aware when your camera's really low, if you're in the middle of writing a picture to the memory card, or that's really when the camera is in the middle of writing the picture to the memory card and it runs out of juice, no more energy left in the batteries, then there's going to be a problem because the camera is going to be talking to the memory card and it won't be finished and you won't be able to disconnect it without doing it improperly. So be careful. What exactly does format mean anyway? In your camera, sometimes you might see erase all images and other times you'll say format memory card. So erasing all the images is taking all the images off of there. There's a little bit of residual sometimes, where format wipes everything off. So if you erase all images, you might have a few like locked images or maybe protected, your camera might call it protected. Those will stay there if you erase all. If you format, they're all gone. Here's an analogy I like to use though. If you have, say, a piece of paper and you cover it with Post-it notes and you take all those Post-it notes off, it's kind of like erasing them. But there's a little bit of residual, like that little like adhesive stuff that makes the paper not feel exactly perfect. That's kind of the difference between erasing pictures from a memory card. It takes them all off but leaves a little bit of residual, and formatting it, erasing everything, getting a whole new piece of paper. Okay, one more little tip for you on SD cards. Use common sense. Heat, moisture, no bueno. So your memory card does not want to be wet. Your memory card does not want to be overheated. Don't leave it in your glove compartment. Don't put it in a part of your backpack where you have a cold beverage that's going to sweat all over it and get a little bit damp. Either of those is going to result in nothing good. Okay, so a recap. You need to be sure that you have plenty of batteries in your camera when you're using it, so that you're never running out of batteries when your camera is still writing the images to the card. And you need to be sure and turn the camera off only after it's finished writing the images to it. And you also need to be sure that your camera is off before you take your card out. When you are taking your card out of your computer, be sure and tell your computer that you're going to do so, either by safely removing or ejecting if you're on a Mac. And be true to your memory card. Don't be sticking it around in everyone else's device. It wants to be monogamous, so only use it in one device. Even if it's your own camera and you have another camera, the memory cards aren't that expensive. Get one for each of them. You'll be happier because your images won't get messed up. If your memory card does get messed up, go to the manufacturer's website and see if they have image recovery software for you. Give that a try. Software, bleh.